There is a mechanism for you to actually book predictable calls without actually going viral, without having to spend hours of your day trying to come up with ideas, script these ideas. Because let's be honest, you're a founder, right? And we don't want to be spending our time on the low leverage activities that do not actually make us a lot more money. And as a founder, you need to understand that if you sit down to record content and you think about content and you script all of the content, you're playing the game wrong. Because I personally leverage a system for me to be able to book 200 calls in 60 days and attract a caliber of people who are completely ready to fix the problem that they face using my own custom solution. My name is Rohit. I'm the founder and CEO of Clients Forge, and we basically help install growth ecosystems for coaches and agency owners to attract and book appointments at scale. Now, the system I'm going to be covering is the exact system you can use to be able to attract and create content at scale, which helps you book appointments. Now, the reason why this system works the best is because it does not require any time input. And I'm going to show you the exact system prompts and the exact inputs you can give to AI for it to be able to create the best output that you need. Now, the thing we're going to be covering is the distribution and conversion systems. There are three basic things that you need to go over, and the things we're going to go over are the positioning and offer alignment, the content pillars, cadence and batching. Exactly how you can do all of this. Now, your positioning will determine whether you win or not. No amount of offer training can help you get there. I won't be going into how to create a good offer because you already know most of it, right? I don't need to teach you how to create an offer. You already probably have an offer that might actually be getting results for people. So I'm not going to go into that. What I will go into is positioning. How do you position yourself and create and craft correct messaging? We already have an internal SOP for determining this for my clients, but let me walk you through exactly how to pull this off for yourself. This is the exact method you can use so that you actually attract buyers. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to find the desires of the market, because if you don't find the desires of the market, you won't know what people want. Now, you need to deeply understand what your audience actually wants to do. You need to craft all your words so that it fits that criteria. For example, if you sell info to help other agency owners scale, for this, you cannot have your messaging and positioning to be another scaling guru. You cannot be another guru that helps agency owners scale their business. That's not the messaging you can have, because that's not really effective. The core desire your ICP will have is making more money by working less hours. So you need to craft your messaging like that. Think about this, right? Let's say you're an agency owner. You want to be able to scale your agency without having to work on the day-to-day operations. That's the main desire that people have. Now, unless and until your messaging reflects that, you will never be able to attract any sort of buyers, because you need to fundamentally base your messaging on the thing that people actually want. Because if it is something that they do not want, nobody's going to listen to what you have to say. So have your IG bio and YouTube reflect your positioning. Make sure you store the document which has your positioning properly so that we can use it later. And I'm going to go over exactly how you can use this with Claude. But look at this. This is my Instagram profile. Now I have changed my bio at the time of recording this. So this is not exactly the same thing, but it is similar. Your bio and your YouTube account should reflect the same positioning that you're trying to have. If you don't have that right positioning, nothing that you do will actually work, because this is a thing that I'm super passionate about, and this is the thing that makes people actually win and lose. The founders who are winning are using these exact systems, because I also had this exact same issue wherein I was not clear on the positioning and the messaging that I'm trying to convey to people. And the way I got clear was by using this exact prompt. Now, obviously, inside our internal SOPs, we have a prompt much more in detail than this to help us understand exactly what to do. But obviously I cannot really release that unless you become a client. But this is a prompt that you can leverage right now. So you can pause the video, write this down exactly, that you are a professional analyzer. Your job is to understand deeply the transcripts the user has provided below and then build a detailed report as follows. So what I want you to do is get all of the sales calls you've ever taken for the offer you're selling, get all of the transcripts, put them in a notepad in like a .txt file, save that txt file, and write this exact prompt to Claude, and then upload that prompt and upload the txt file onto Claude. So this is the exact thing that Claude will do. So you tell Claude that the user wants to create a detailed messaging and positioning report for their audience. You need to follow this exact process. So we tell Claude exactly what process it needs to follow. So we tell Claude to understand the main core problems, Now, based on the core problems, list down all the mini problems inside of it, then list down all the desires of the prospects, then build a detailed report of the position of the distribution of problems and give the user a common pain point and desire the prospects have. Then write down the positioning statement as follows. So you're the person who, and then you're positioning based on the data. Your job is very important. Now begin, and then you paste the transcripts right over here. You can pause the video right now to actually copy this entire system prompt, because once you do this, what Claude will give you is an in-depth report of exactly the main core problems your audience faces based on the core problems, the mini problems inside of it, so you can create videos around that and then build a detailed report of the distribution of problems and give the user a common pain point and desire, and then give you the exact statement of like, I am this person who helps do this exact thing. This in itself will give you much more clarity on the things that you need to do. Second thing, the content pillars. Now that you have your positioning and messaging down, next thing that you need to do is create videos that actually attract such people based on the messaging and the positioning you have. So your content must always revolve around these core pillars. These are the most important ones for your brand to work. So your content pillars must always be used to destroy the core belief systems your prospects have. Unless it does that in different ways, you can never be able to create distribution and conversion. See, most people just have one down, but having both down will put you ahead of the market. Now, how do you find the core belief systems? You need to deeply understand that the core belief systems your audience has and be able to create influence when you change that belief system for your prospects. I want you to really think about this. Think about the time you actually got into your business and you actually first started your business. There was a specific person who influenced you to do it. A specific person who influenced you in a much more greater way. Now, the reason why you remember them is because they change your paradigm. They change the way you look at the world. You also need to have data across this so that we can create the core content pillar. So you need to understand that unless you break the core belief systems your prospects already have, they will never ever actually listen to you because they have no reason to. Unless you break the belief system, they have zero reason to listen to you. How do you determine the pillars? So let's assume an example. Let's say you sell info to help people making 20K a month with their agency scale to 100K a month. Let's say you're an info agency. The three main belief systems your ICP will have is as follows: that I need more volume to scale. I need to work harder to manage everything, and I'm afraid of hiring for key roles because I don't trust that person. I do not have trust in my team members, and I have to micromanage them all the time. This is how you can craft your content pillars exactly. Your top of funnel content will be revolving around the three core belief systems that they have. But the way you break those belief systems is by showcasing the opposite belief system. So for example, I need to work more. This is a belief system that they might have. Now, you can create a vlog style video where you showcase your day in the life, showing what you do and specifically showing that you do not do much in the day but still make more than the viewer. What this is going to do is subconsciously make their belief systems and challenge their belief systems and ultimately break their belief systems if you pull it off properly, so that they start to believe that it is possible, that they don't need to work hard all day, and that it is possible to actually make more money without having to work all day. You break their core belief systems. Middle of funnel, right? You need to make your middle of funnel content around these core pillars, but focus on breaking the paradigm with info. So for example, let's say they have a belief system that I need more volume to scale. The video title you could have is how I make 100K a month with 25 DMs a day, or how I scale to 10K a month without doing more. Rather, actually, this is 100K a month, not 10K a month, but you get the point. Another video title could be you need to fire more to scale to 100K a month. You see how these videos want to make you want to watch because it just breaks your understanding of the worldview or the paradigm that you have. If someone can challenge the way you think and then showcase the solution to get to that new outcome, they will trust you. That is the core thing that you have to understand. And that is the core belief and the core thing that middle of funnel actually does. This is how you build your content pillars. You build your first messaging and positioning so that you know exactly what to say so that people listen. And then you base your content pillars around the things that actually matter, so that as a founder, you're able to create the highest leverage videos possible so that you can create an understanding in your niche and people looking up to you in your niche for the dream outcome that you set. By the way, I've created a 25-page free report on exactly how buyers work, how you can attract buyers with content, and the actionable steps you can do based on the problems that you're facing. So if you want to have access to it, click the first link in the description, sign up. It's a free thing that I've built. So click the first link in the description, get that free resource right now. The third thing is cadence and batching. You must be ahead in terms of content. You cannot be the type of person who just records a video, uploads it, and has nothing in the backend again. You need to have videos in the pipeline. The most common problem I see is that people just struggle to come up with ideas, and the scripting takes a lot of time. That is exactly why we built Verve. This is our own custom software. So let me walk you through exactly how this looks like and how you can implement something similar. So inside of Verve, you can go into the auditor section. Sorry, not the auditor section. You can go into the generator section, go into the idea genesis. Now you can see I've got a bunch of ideas here, but what you essentially can do is go in here, input an idea for a month that you want to speak about, and then input in here a working video idea that you found to work well within your niche. So for example, here I've already inputted one just so I can show you how I run a 150K a month business working 4 hours per day. This is a working idea which worked really well within the niche. You can see it gave me Instagram reel ideas. So it gives you the exact belief to be targeted, the exact angle that you can use, the talking point prompts so that you can build upon these ideas. It gives you multiple different ideas for Instagram. Then it also gives you multiple ideas about YouTube so that you can create top of funnel videos, middle of funnel videos, exactly attract your buyers, and it gives you the exact talking points so that you're able to think through exactly what information to provide inside of your video so that the people watching get some value out of it. Now you can pick any idea that you want, input the idea inside of here and actually break it down, and then you can take that, go into the scripting genesis. You can create a new idea right here, and then based on the exact type of idea, so for example, if you want top of funnel Instagram reel or a middle of funnel YouTube video, you can input the idea here with the information that you've broken down, and based on the type of video that you want to create, it will give an exact working script for that idea. So you can essentially within a couple of minutes create the entire script for every single video that you create without wasting a lot of time. Now, the way Verve is able to do that is because everything inside of Verve is built upon the backend data that you provided. So we provided with your offer, your brand strategy, your niche, your entire positioning, messaging, all of this which we do done for you for our clients, so that the AI is able to have a basic understanding of what needs to be done to create the perfect output. Now we've tested this across so many different content pieces. We have built this upon months and months of data that we've collected and different prompts that we've tested out, because the output is just so immaculate. This entire video was scripted by AI as well. All of the talking points that I created, all of the systems that I talked about was entirely brainstormed by AI. I just inputted the exact specific information that I have. Now, if you want to be able to implement Verve inside of your own agency and coaching business, and you want to be able to attract organic clients consistently, you can click the second link in the description, book in a call with me and my team. We'll work with you closely. If you're a good fit, we'll onboard you for our done for you one-on-one package, and we'll absolutely scale the shit out of your client acquisition. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.